Information Station 1370 WOCA.
WOCA.
All right, 22 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in, Joe. I got a little memory I want to share with you.
Go ahead.
When I was a kid, I took accordion lessons. Okay, and I remember getting this book that would teach me how to play accordion. And if you looked at the beginning of the book, it was like real simple, just a few notes. If you flip to the back of the book, there was notes all over the place. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, one day I'll be able to play that huge, massive amount of notes.
With one hand and the other hand.
Well, if you're into yoga... and you look at the Women's Health Big Book of Yoga and go to just the
I'm afraid where this is going.
Well, you look at the first illustrations. All right.
I can do that.
It's a young lady. She's kind of standing. I can stand.
I guess.
Well, let's flip to the back a little bit and see some of these positions that this young lady gets herself into. Well, I'm not flipping to any good ones here. But anyway, trust me, she is a pretzel in some of these positions. And on the phone is the lady who wrote this. It's an awesome book. Kathryn Budig is on the phone. She's a yoga instructor. She's a contributing editor to Women's Health magazine and to Yoga Journal and the Huffington Post. Her book is called The Women's Health Big Book of Yoga, The Essential Guide to Complete Mind, Body Fitness. Wow, I got so many questions.
That is a big book, too.
It's a nice-looking book, too, right? Kathryn Budig. Good morning, Kathryn.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. Thank you for being on the air with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Florida.
Where? Where are you?
Yeah, Central Florida. I'm near Orlando.
So you're near us. We're Ocala. Did you know where we were? Okay.
I did. We are right down the street from each other.
Who is yoga for? Is it for women only?
No, this book is branded through Women's Health magazine, but it doesn't mean for women specifically, even though there are some sequences for PMS and whatnot in the book.
Okay, all right. And which is usually my partner is a woman, so Joe, we're just going to have to...
PMS. PMS.
She's writing it down.
We suffer that, yes, but in different ways.
Very real. It's very real.
So,
yeah, so definitely for men and women, and it's definitely still predominantly female, but each year it's progressively getting higher in the ranks of the men practicing.
Is there a definition to yoga? In other words, is all stretching yoga, or how is yoga actually defined?
See, that's kind of the preconception of yoga, and a misconception also that it's all stretching. So yoga will definitely make you flexible, and obviously some of those poses that you're looking at takes a lot of flexibility, but it's a combination of garnering strength and flexibility. Okay. And that's what a lot of people miss that I think would like to know, because then they can get into it and really enjoy it. You can go into a vinyasa flow class or a power yoga class and be physically exhausted, not because you're stretching, but because of how much you're lifting and moving your body through the postures.
Now, I've always associated yoga with some kind of a spirituality. Is that always the case, or not necessarily?
It's personal. I think spirituality in general is a spiritual thing, so if you want to take that path, you can definitely go there. I find that a lot of people, when they start taking yoga, they do it for physical reasons, or they're doing it because they're stressed out and they need to calm down. And if you stick with yoga down the line, then you notice yourself just making little adjustments in how you interact with other people, little adjustments with how you behave personally, and to me, that's spirituality. It's just choosing how you interact.
When I see yoga being done, I see, of course, the flexibility is there, but I don't see if they're all together down the line and they're doing it. I don't see them conversing with each other, either in their own zone or they have the headphones on and they're listening to. Is that part of it? In other words, do you have to be zoned in?
Well, you know how professional athletes say they get in the zone when they're doing something really well? It's a similar experience when you're doing your yoga practice. It is a personal practice, and you practice on your own at home, or you can go into a studio and practice with a group. And, it's not really social hour. You're not going to be there with your buddy and, talking about what you did last night when you're doing
let's go grocery shopping later.
Yeah,
it's on sale. You don't do that. Okay.
So
it's because you focus on your breath. So it's all about connecting all the movements you do when you're breathing. So that's why
really? Oh, so that's a big part.
Kind of like they're in the zone, yeah.
So just going back to one of my earlier questions, is it for... all right, we already established it's for men and women. Is it for just young people? Or, would somebody who's in a nursing home... are there some yoga things that somebody at a nursing home might be able to accomplish, and would it benefit them?
Without a doubt. They even have chair yoga, where you just sit in a chair and you do all of your moments from a chair.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. They have modifications for all ages, all body types.
Do the poses that I'm looking at in the book, as I flip through the book, are these poses that are held, or are these pictures like the camera capturing somebody in flight?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some of them look like they might be flying in the camera, or are they holding that position?
The upside down photos, the two first photos on the cover of the book, those are both called inversions where we're upside down. You hold them. Ideally.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, Larry just flipped a page. I don't know what page it was. It looked like a frog.
Yeah,
I mean, she is just one piece, and her two arms are down. That's all you see is two arms.
Yes, crow pose, I think, is what you're looking at.
A what?
What it sounds like. It sounds like you're looking at a crow pose. Like
crow pose.
It's a crow pose. Yeah. You hold them. But eventually, at first you just fall flat on your face is what you do when you're learning them.
So she holds that.
Yeah.
Oh, I found a man. I found a man in here. There's one man in here.
Well,
I do have a lovely dude.
A lovely dude.
Well, I found what PMS means for men, I think. Personal men's stretching.
Personal men's stretching.
How long have you been doing yoga?
I've been practicing for about 13 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it like the music book I had when I was a kid? When you first start out, do you look at some of these things and go, wow, one day?
Yeah, I like what you said. I like that you said I'm going to get there eventually, because there's kind of two personality types. There's the personality type that sees something crazy and then they get inspired by it, and then there's the person who sees something crazy and they're like, oh, hell no, I'm never going to do that.
I'm never going to get there.
Yeah, exactly. And I liked hearing you say, yes, I will get to all those notes. And that's kind of what I want people to see in the book, is I wanted to give them something accessible, and then I wanted to give them something to aspire to as well, just so, it keeps them coming back to the book, and it keeps them coming back to practicing yoga, so you have something to always strive towards and learn.
Do you engage in other exercise routines, or is yoga your exercise of choice?
Yoga is definitely my exercise of choice, but I'm an outdoorsy girl. I like to walk my dog and hike and all that good stuff, but this is what keeps me fit.
I have a simple question. Very simple. Why yoga? They have all these exercises out there. And, of course, this is the time of the year where everyone's trying to lose weight. Why would someone pick yoga?
Well, specifically if you're trying to lose weight, too, it's a mind-body experience. And if you're just focusing on the body and you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to feel better about yourself, it's really difficult because you're counting calories. It's all about being at the gym, go, 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 go. But if you're practicing yoga and you're using your physical body, so you're still doing what you would do to sweat and lose weight, but then you're improving your mind and you're improving the way that you think, and you start to create, basically when you do yoga, you become less reactive, which is a huge plus from this practice. So instead of constant judgment or rash reactions to other people, to yourself, you get into this place where you're more content, honestly, and it takes away a lot of the stress. And I feel like if you want to physically get to a better place in your life, you mentally have to feel better about yourself as well, and that's half the battle.
That makes sense.
So,
yeah,
less stress.
I'll get you there faster.
The book is called The Women's Health Big Book of Yoga, The Essential Guide to Complete Mind-Body Fitness. So remember, the word mind is in there. Kathryn Budig is our guest, and she's the author of the book. The idea of somebody picking up the book who has never done yoga, as opposed to somebody who is advanced in yoga. Is this for both of those people?
It is. I don't know if a super advanced person would necessarily need it, but I wanted to write it for someone who's yoga curious, who's never done yoga before, and also have it be accessible to someone who's been doing yoga for a while and they need a good reference. Or just someone who wants to brush up on alignment cues, or, might want to learn a little bit about the history or get some ideas for nutrition. Just wanted a good, solid guide. I didn't feel like that was really provided.
Yeah, and to be fair to the book, it just said in my notes to prepare me for this, it says you've got in recipes, including salads, smoothies, soups, entrees, and so eating, and I guess it's like the whole body. What's the saying that they say? Respect your temple. Your body is your temple. Right?
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, look at you. Yeah.
Look at me. Yeah, well, I didn't want to touch the one about strengthening your core for more hot sex.
Wait, I didn't see that chapter.
Yeah, I left that out. So you
Why?
Why? Well, I mean, on a serious note, that actually makes sense. I mean, the more fit you are, obviously, the more enjoyable sex is going to be, right?
in the poses I chose for that chapter, there's a lot of hip openers, there's a lot of lower back strengtheners, just focusing in on the muscles and areas that you want to be strong and open and to have endurance. So
flexibility, yes.
Just to kind of make everything a little more exciting and enjoyable, and also the yoga practice creates a lot of empowerment, and I think, and not necessarily the physical body, but how you own your sexuality is what's sexy. And if you feel really confident in your own skin, that's what makes for a good time in the bedroom. So doing more yoga is going to make you feel really comfortable in your skin, whether you are where you want to be or you're on your way.
Well, some of the things have names, like cow and cat. What is that? What is cow and cat?
That's a little movement that you do on all fours, and you round your spine, and then you drop it. So it's warms up your spine, gets you ready in your back.
Are you a dancer?
No, I did musical theater, but I wasn't a trained dancer. I was that person who's like, just give me time, I'll learn it.
But these look like dances. I mean, some of them look like, somebody with a camera got somebody dancing and caught them in action.
Yes, they're beautiful. I mean, yoga is a very, very beautiful practice, and it will create a good amount of grace in your body once you start practicing it.
All right. When you practice, when do you practice? Do you do it in the morning? Do you do it at night, in the afternoon? Or is there a specific time?
There isn't a specific time that you have to practice at. I have an AM sequence and a PM sequence in the book. Some people like to get it over with in the morning. It helps them wake up. Some people have, full-time jobs and they don't have time to do anything till the end of the day. And then, some of us are writers and yoga teachers, and we can do yoga whenever we have free time. So it's basically just finding the time of the day where you have enough energy to do it, or you need the boost. And honestly, just get it in. As long as you get your practice in somewhere, that's what's going to really pay off.
Now, is the ambiance important? In other words, do you put music on? Do you got incense going? Or do you go to a different place other than your living room? Is that important?
I personally have a room devoted to my yoga practice, but I might be a little intense since it's what I do for a living.
And and if I went in there, is the music and the incense all part of it?
No, my room is really simple. It's a hardwood floor. I have a few beautiful yoga photographs up there that keep me inspired, and I have a few things that I've collected through my travels that are inspiring to me, and I keep on a little table. It's like my little altar of things that keep me going, and my yoga mats and my props, and that's pretty much it. I like it nice and simple so I don't get distracted.
Props?
Yeah, blocks, bolsters, blankets, straps. They're basically all little helpful tools that you can use if you lack the flexibility for certain things. Strap, if you can't reach your feet when you sit down to fold, you put a strap over the balls of your feet. That way you don't strain your back trying to get to them.
Oh, okay. Do you know?
Yeah, just little helpful tools.
The other day we had a discussion about some of the infomercial products that people will buy, and this time of year, apparently, there's a lot of products that people will buy to get in shape. And I'm looking through the book, and you've got a movement you call windshield wiper abs. and I'm thinking those people who buy that stuff on TV, they don't need anything. I mean, it looks like you can strengthen your abs by doing the windshield wiper movement.
Yeah, it's just the amount of discipline you have. Like, do you want to buy a machine to do it for you, or can you do it on your own? And, I think some of us feel like we're so off the deep end that we need something to do it for us. And that's, again, why I think the yoga practice is so empowering, because once you get going, you realize, wow, I'm shaping this body and I'm creating all this on my own.
Wow.
I didn't need any tools. I just used my breath. I just used my body to get here.
When you're doing this, how much time do you put aside for each session? I'll put it as a session.
Sure.
Each time, how much?
Generally speaking, a class normally lasts anywhere from an hour to 90 minutes. But if you're a newbie and that's really intimidating to you, just start with 20 minutes. Start 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just to get into the routine.
But once you're into it and you're flexible,
right, then you'll probably want to go up to at least an hour.
Really?
An hour a day.
Yeah.
So let's say somebody who's 40. Has never done this, does not consider themselves to be flexible. They start to do it. Do they become more flexible?
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't do yoga because you are flexible. You do yoga because you'd like to become flexible.
Oh, okay.
So you can be super, super stiff. I mean, that's why people need yoga in their lives. So, you don't have to be ready to try out for the circus to start this up. It's, you can have your... And in the background.
And what about yourself, Kathryn? I mean, not to get too personal, but did you ever have, were you ever heavy? Was there ever a physical challenge that you had to overcome?
I'm petite. I'm 5'2". but I'm curvy, petite. I can put on weight easily if I don't pay close attention to what I'm doing. And I come from a theater background, but I wasn't ever trained, so I had to work hard for my flexibility because I had a tomboy background.
Yeah.
So I couldn't naturally do the splits. I couldn't.
Well, we're looking at your photo.
Don't worry, I can't do a split either.
You're a beautiful lady. We're looking at the photo of you on the back of the book, and some of the poses inside are you also, correct?
Yes, I'm the blonde one in the book.
You're the blonde one.
The blonde one in the book.
I'm the blonde one.
To be fair to the book, if you are interested, and I would say, ladies, if you're interested, the Women's Health Big Book of Yoga is mostly about yoga, but I don't know. I mean, it sounds like yoga encompasses everything, not just the movements, right?
It's a whole lifestyle choice, basically, is what it turns into. How you eat, how you interact, what you do on your mat. So that's basically what the book is trying to encompass without intimidating someone too much.
So you got to get a mat.
And that is a good idea. You don't have to, but it's definitely a good idea.
Either that, have thick carpeting.
Oh yeah, that would work.
All right, now here's where you get to be a little bit of a guru. There's a part in the book, and there's a photo of you, and it says chakras. Mm-hmm. In yoga, it is believed that the body contains 7 chakras. Can you help us understand that?
So, yeah, basically a chakra is an energetic point in your body. So, for example, there's a point right above your navel called the solar plexus. And you hold different emotions in different part of these chakras. So the chakra in your solar plexus is about truth, and it's where you hold your insecurity. So, for example, if you're in a fight with someone and you say everything's okay and it's all good, but they walk into the room and you're smiling, but your stomach does a somersault.
Oh, I know that feeling. Yeah, I've been there.
So that's your solar plexus. And that's the area where no matter what, it's going to tell you this is the truth, this is what's going on, or when you get scared or uncomfortable.
Right.
So I broke down the different chakras to show, okay, this is what it represents, and these are the poses that you can do to help build this area of your body. Or if you're struggling with being honest, to working on stomach work to try to help your honesty levels, stuff like that. So correlating what it emotionally represents and how can you physically help it.
Okay, so do you use that information and kind of do some inner looking at yourself and how you're feeling, and in order to determine what kind of yoga things you need to do?
For sure you can. Yeah, that's the beauty of yoga. You can keep it really clean and simple and just do the postures, or you can start to dive into some of this work if you feel ready for it.
Wow. Have you ever had a stressful day, or let's say no.
Oh yeah, right.
Let me ask it a different way. Let's say you're driving down the road and somebody's really ticked you off.
Mm-hmm.
And you may be, like a real guru, and it doesn't get to you, but that day it did. Okay, I mean, do you go home and do you actually rid yourself of whatever feelings were caused by that with yoga?
Oh my gosh, without a doubt. I mean, it's such a stress reliever for me, and I know if I'm having a horrible day, I just need to turn off the computer, put my phone away, and go into my yoga room and practice, even if it's the last thing on earth that I want to do, which often, when you're in a bad mood, it is. It's almost like we want to be grumpy. We just sit in it a little bit.
Yeah.
So if I can throw myself in there, and even if the first 20 minutes is brutal because I'm just pissed and my mind is elsewhere, by the time I get to the end of the practice, I've conquered it, and I'm like, okay, I can breathe again. It's all good.
Yeah, you're above it all.
Yeah, but it's work. I'm not going to lie. It's not this magical potion that you put on and, it's great. You still have to have discipline to do this.
Is there such a thing as office yoga?
I've taught yoga to people in offices before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are we going to start doing that, Joe?
You are.
on stuff that you can do at your desk. There's a wrist release. That way you don't get carpal tunnel.
Right, things like that.
Little things you can do with your legs to open up your hips while you're seated.
Are there any stress release that can be done in the office?
I would say breathe. I think if you can just turn away from that computer screen for a minute, close your eyes, and focus on controlled breathing. One that I recommend is just breathing, inhaling to the count of 4, retaining it for 4, and exhaling for 4, just so you can get your nerves and your senses to slow down for at least a minute.
We do interview authors every day, Kathryn, and every time there's an author, one of the questions is this an ebook? And whether this is or not, I would recommend for the listeners that they get the actual book. This is a very beautiful, well-done book.
Thank you. Yeah, there is a Kindle edition on Amazon that you can get, but I recommend a hard copy as well, just because of the aesthetic of it, and it's nice to be able to flip through it too.
Yeah,
when you're looking for information.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Women's Health Big Book of Yoga. I have a copy of it. If you want it, call me. I'll put your name on it. It's yours. The rest of us have to go buy it. Kathryn, do you have a website?
I do. It's KathrynBudig.com.
And Kathryn spells her name KathrynBudig. And just to make it easy, Robin already put that information on the WOCA.com site under the AM Ocala guest list. You'll see Kathryn's name at 9:35 on today's date. And plus, you can call us. We'll be glad to repeat it. Is the book on Amazon and all the others?
Yes, it is. It's on Amazon and basically anywhere where you can buy books.
All right. Any more questions, Joe?
If anybody wants one.
Yeah, we have one to give away. If you want one, call me. I'll put your name on it, leave it for you. Kathryn Budig, thank you so much for getting up early and being on with us on the show, and come back.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
You too. We'll take a little break and be right back.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
They've served our country. They've kept us free. And they need your help.
We're sitting in Veterans Park. You can't sit here not realizing that you're surrounded by heroes. There are a lot of heroes in our community. A lot of heroes, unfortunately, are not in good financial shape. They're hurting both physically and financially. We step in and help directly. Our role is to reach out to them. We're there to help the veteran. We do counseling. We do outreach. Sometimes it's just coming into the office and sitting down and saying, hey, I've got a problem, and you're talking to another veteran who understands that problem.
Everybody who works for the Vets Helping Vets are awesome, and they are so kind to everybody. They're like my second family. They really are.
They have been there during the holidays. I have gotten unexpected visits, assistance.
Vets Helping Vets of Marion County needs your help. Call today, 352-433-2320, and pledge your support to Vets Helping Vets of Marion County.
It really has been a blessing.
ABC News Now. I'm Daniela Bellotta. A 16-year-old who opened fire in his classroom in Taft, California, told his teacher he didn't want to shoot him after he shot a boy he says was bullying him. The teacher convinced him to put down